Think you're falling behind financially? Here's a truth that might shock you. If you have over $400 in your savings account right now, you're already ahead of 30% of Americans as of 2025. Most people assume they're average with their money, but according to the Federal Reserve, the median retirement savings in the United States is just $65,000, and a full quarter of Americans have nothing saved at all. If you're worried about how you stack up, stay with me, because I'm about to reveal the 5-step roadmap that will show you exactly where you stand. Why most people are struggling with debt and low savings. Most importantly, what specific moves you can make in the next year to leap ahead, averages, and put your financial future on track. Welcome to Money Masters. I'm John, and today I'm pulling back the curtain on the real numbers behind American finances. I'll break down the cold hard facts, and then crucially, I'll guide you through my 5-step above-average net worth framework so you can benchmark yourself and take actionable steps starting today. Let's get right into it. We'll start with the basics. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, as of the most recent data, the median United States worker earns $52,000 per year, or roughly $1,000 per week, which means half you earn less, half more. But after taxes, Social Security, Medicare, and regional tax differences, the average American's actual take-home pay is closer to $35,000 to $40,000 a year, depending on where you live. That leaves about $3,000 per month to cover everything: rent or mortgage, food, transportation, utilities, healthcare, and anything else. It's not a lot, especially with costs rising across the board in 2025. Pause right now and ask yourself, after taxes, do you bring home more or less than $3,000 a month? Let me know where you stand in the comments below. We're building a judgment-free zone here. Now, let's get more honest. According to the Federal Reserve's latest numbers, the median retirement savings for Americans is just $65,000. That's not a typo. $65,000, barely more than the median worker earns in a year. Even more concerning, 1/4 of Americans have zero, absolutely nothing, saved for retirement. When you break it down by age, the picture sharpens. People under 25 typically have less than $2,000 saved. Ages 25 to 34 have about $14,000. Those between 65 and 74 average around $88,000. Still far from cushy. Here's a painful math moment. If you retire at age 65 with $88,000 saved, and you try to live by the 4% withdrawal rule, the principle that you can safely take out 4% of your retirement portfolio per year without running out of money, that gives you just $3,500 a year, or about $300 a month, in spending money for your golden years. Ouch! That's not even rent in most cities, Social Security. For most people, it tops out at around $1,900 per month. If you have paid off your house and keep your expenses that may work. But for the average person, it's nowhere near enough for a comfortable retirement. And while some subscribers tell me, John, I'm making it work on just Social Security, you are absolutely the exception, not the rule. If you're still in the workforce and paying into the system, and especially if you're under 50 personally, I think you should plan on getting little or nothing from Social Security, given the system's funding issues. Even though you've paid in for years, the payout likely won't match what you put in, or may even be reduced. Now, if you're wondering where all this money goes, let's take a closer look at household spending. According to the latest numbers, the average United States household currently spends $177 per month, which adds up to about $67,000 a year. Here's the kicker. You need to be taking home at least $67,000 after tax just to break even. And we already know most people don't, and that's a primary reason why household debt is at an all-time high. Housing alone eats up $1,885 a month, food about $691, and transportation $913. That's $3,489 right there before you touch healthcare, utilities, fun, or anything else. Let me recap. The average take-home pay is $3,000 a month, but the average spent is $5,577 a month. No wonder credit card use is through the roof. A recent Federal Reserve study found the average household carries over $9,000 in credit card debt, and credit card rates sky high at 25% or more. That means you pay about $1,800 to $2,000 a year, sometimes more, in just interest. That's nearly a month's salary gone to the banks. And the most disturbing part, most debts aren't from emergencies. They're from everyday spending, eating out, online shopping gadgets, even groceries, much of it truly non-essential. If there's one thing you take away early, let it be this. Before investing a single dollar, prioritize paying off all high-interest debt, especially credit cards. Why, even the best stock portfolios return 7 to 10% on average per year. If you're paying 25% in interest, you're losing ground. Even if your investments perform well, free yourself from high-interest debt, and your net worth snowballs much faster. Let's take this from theory to a real example. Before we move into the framework, I want you to imagine Mike, a composite case inspired by many viewers. Mike, age 34, earns $52,000 a year, takes home $3,000 a month after taxes, and like the average household carries about $9,000 on credit. Cards at 25% interest. Mike's minimum payment is about $200 per month. But at that rate, most of it is mamalite, making almost no progress on the balance by paying an extra $200 a month, so $400. Total, Mike could cut his payoff timeline from over a decade to just beyond 2 years, saving $5,000 plus in interest. Now, let's introduce the 5-step roadmap that helps you turn real numbers into above-average results. I'll walk you through each pillar, bringing the statistics to life and weaving in practical examples you can act on immediately. Quick reminder, if you've ever worried you're behind on savings, drop a down arrow in the comments. You're far from alone, and I want our community to support each other as we work through these steps. Step 1. Pass the $400 emergency fund test. Beating the $400 test puts you ahead of 30% Americans. According to the Federal Reserve, 30% of Americans still can't cover an unexpected $400 expense without borrowing or turning to credit cards. It's the single most basic measure of financial resilience in this country. But here's the trick. You don't need a 6-month emergency fund tomorrow. Your first bar is just $400. Cash in the bank ready for car repairs, a doctor bill or whatever. From there, build towards 1 month's worth of expenses, then 3 to 6 months over time. Case in point, Sarah, a 29-year-old nurse, had just $380 in savings when her car needed $450 in repairs. Thanks to a paycheck buffer and a little side hustle, she scraped together the funds without credit cards and then set up a direct deposit to push $50 a week into her savings. Within 6 months, her emergency fund hit $1,500, giving her peace of mind and freedom. If you're watching, ask yourself, could you handle a $400 emergency right now? Would you need to borrow, or could you cover it? Pause and calculate your own buffer. I'd love to see your answer below. Step 2. Escape the average debt trap. As we saw, average household credit card debt is $9,000 at 25% interest. Let's put that in real numbers. If you have $9,000 at a 25% annual percentage rate and pay the $225 minimum monthly payment, it will take you over 14 years to pay it off and cost you more than $13,000 in interest alone. That's why my rule is to pay off all credit card balances, even if you're just starting out, before making major investment moves. What debts should you prioritize? Credit cards. Highest rates. Then personal loans, then car loans. Only keep mortgage debt. It generally has the lowest rate, and it's often the only way most people can afford a home. Mini case. After eliminating $10,000 in high-interest debt, Martha's monthly cash flow improved by almost $300, which she immediately redirected into her Roth IRA. Within 2 years, she had invested over $7,000 extra, money that would otherwise have gone to interest payments. If you've ever been unsure whether to prioritize debt or investing, this is a perfect spot to ask. Comment your situation below, and let's get the conversation going. Step 3. To boost your savings rate above average. The United States average personal savings rate is just 6%. That's $60 for every $1,000 earned. Yet most experts agree you should aim for at least 10 to 15% saved specifically for retirement. The FIRE movement touts 20 to 50% plus savings. But let's be real, that's not practical for most. Let's focus on achievable wins. Here's how the numbers play out. If you earn $4,000 after tax and save 6%, that's $240 a month, $2,880 a year. If you can push to 15%, that's $600 a month, $7,200 a year. Over 20 years, at a 7% average annual return, the 6% saver ends up with about $125,000. The 15% saver, over $300,000. Case study. Adam, a 36-year-old marketing manager, automated his 401k contributions at 12% of his $60,000 salary. Over 5 years, even with small raises, he built a nest egg of $48,000 without ever seeing the money hit his checking account. What's your current savings rate? Take a moment to calculate and post it below. Seeing where you stand is the first step to progress. Quick progress checkpoint. You've now covered the basics most Americans trip up on. But stick around, because step 4 is where net worth starts to multiply with consistent investment. Step 4. Invest wisely and consistently. Even small amounts add up. Once your high-interest debt is gone and you're saving above the average, the next move is getting your money working for you. Even if you can only set aside $150 each month, the power of compounding turns small habits into big results. For example, $150 a month invested at 7% annual returns. Historical average for a balanced index portfolio over 30 years grows to $182,973, over 6 times what you put in. If you start with $400 per month, that's $487,290 in 3 decades. Remember, these are projections based on historical averages, not guarantees. Time and consistency are your best friends. Tool tip. Use calculators from sites like Vanguard or Fidelity to project your growth. Seeing the numbers mapped out is incredibly motivating. Mini case. Jenna, a 31-year-old teacher, started with $100 per month in a Roth IRA, increasing by $25 each year. By year 6, she was contributing $225 per month, and her account hit $19,000 even after a rocky market year. She tracked everything via Personal Capital Now, Empower, and found the sense of progress hugely motivating. Now here's a curiosity loop. You're doing everything right, but what truly separates above-average households from the rest? That's step 5, and most people miss it. Stay with me. Step 5. Track, adjust, and automate your progress. The above-average multiplier. The single biggest differentiator among above-average net worth households isn't always income luck or a windfall. It's regular review and adjustment. What you track, you improve. The average American's net worth is $122,000. Ages break down like this. Under 35, $14,000, 35 to 44, $91,000, 45 to 54, $168,000, 55 to 64, $212,000, 65 to 74, $266,000. But the households that check their net worth spending and investing habits every quarter, then make adjustments, grow their wealth dramatically faster. How do you actually do this? Choose a tool, Mint Empower Tiller Money, or a simple spreadsheet. Every month, set aside 15 minutes to update your account totals, cash, debts, investments. Compare against historic targets and adjust. Did your savings rate slip? Can you up your investment by $50 per month? Was an unexpected expense a wake-up call to boost your emergency fund? Mini case. After monthly net worth check-ins, Lisa and Rahul spotted a recurring $60 subscription they didn't use, canceling it and boosting their investment. They reached a $100,000 net worth by age 37, $40,000 above the average for their age group. Micro call to action. If you'd benefit from an above-average net worth checklist, I've packaged all these steps together in a free resource. Grab it in the description and use it to track your own progress over the next 30 days. Before we wrap, let's return to context. Yes, spending nationwide is slowing. Amazon Prime Day sales lagged. Only 61% of previous shoppers returned, and average order value dropped from $53 to $45. Home renovations are stalling. 80% of holiday shoppers expect higher prices, and nearly a third plan to buy fewer gifts. But while these stats can seem discouraging, there's a silver lining. People are pausing prioritizing essentials, whether by choice or necessity, starting to spend less. That's not bad. In fact, it's often the first ingredient in a financial reset. Meanwhile, don't forget, 30% of Americans still don't have $400 for an emergency. If you're just starting, beating that single benchmark puts you at the top of the class. Let's sum up. The path to above-average net worth is built with tiny, consistent habits. Compound your actions, not just your money. Don't get discouraged by overnight success stories or wild internet claims. Most Americans won't retire at 30 or buy $3 million homes, and that's absolutely fine. Focus on what you can control. If you want the full checklist for these 5 steps, including benchmarks by age prompts for reviewing your habits, and every crucial stat from today's video, it's linked free below. Quick question for you. Which of these steps will you commit to tackling this week? Drop your answer below, and let's celebrate the small wins together. Get your above-average net worth checklist now. And if you don't want to miss our next masterclass, where I break down the exact tactics for building a $150,000 net worth from scratch, make sure you hit subscribe. Let's quickly recap. You've learned how the average American stacks up when it comes to take-home, pay savings, and debt. And you've now got a clear 5-step action framework for getting ahead. Step 1. Pass the $400 emergency fund test and get a buffer in place. Step 2. Crush all high-interest debt, in particular credit cards. Step 3. Push your savings rate above the national average. 10 to 15% is your new baseline. Step 4. Get your money working for you with regular automated investing. Use trusted tools like Vanguard Fidelity or Empower to track progress. Step 5. Review, adjust, and automate. Every month, the difference between average and above-average net worth is monthly. Measurement and action. Your first step. Set up a $400 buffer this week, even if it's just $25 at a time. By the end of this month, see if you can get to 1 month of expenses. Over the next 3 months, cut 1 expense and raise your savings rate by 1%. And in the next 6 to 12 months, schedule quarterly net worth check-ins. Use Empowerment or your own spreadsheet. Download the free above-average net worth checklist linked below to follow. Every step benchmark your age group and get the exact questions to review each month. If you take action starting today, you'll start to notice the biggest difference within 90 days. A rising emergency fund, your debt, shrinking, and momentum building. Over the next year, these habits will compound. And within a decade, you'll be so far ahead of the average American, you'll be the one others ask for advice. If you found value here, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications for Money Masters. Next, we're going deep on the exact tactics for building a $250,000 net worth from scratch, so you don't want to miss that masterclass. Let us know in the comments. Which of the 5 steps will you take first? If you've ever felt behind, remember, small wins add up to big results. And if you want instant access to the checklist and our weekly financial newsletter, those links are free and right below. Thanks for being part of this journey. See you in the next one. Remember, everything here is for education only and not financial advice. For any personalized strategies or investment recommendations, consult a qualified professional.